It is hard to believe that it's been an entire week of vintage cube drafts. There's only 1 week left before this draft is no longer available on Magic Online. I've had a great time so far. I'm hoping that I can get some more trophies by the end, but we'll see how it goes. And we immediately jump in. We start with the Soul Ring. It's a pretty great place to start. Only other things in the pack that really come close are Rafellos and Tropical Island, but we'll take the Soul Ring. Pretty amazing start, and with the Soul Ring inside of our deck, we're looking to pick up things we can cast for 2 mana, or for 3 mana if we have a basic in play, or an untapped land. And specifically things that don't have too hefty of color requirements. Well, immediately the things that jump out to me are Sword, Monastery Mentor, Brainstorm. Monastery Mentor is a powerful card. Problem is that it is white. Do we want to play white? Soul Ring is pretty good in white decks. Only other considerations are like Brainstorm, Takenuma. I think we'll take the Monastery Mentor. Well, Karakas is extremely strong, and if we're going to take a white card, I think I do prefer Karakas to that. Now we have a Jetmir's Garden, and a Braid, Lenalender Archmage, Tameo, which seems fine. Rabblemaster. Rabblemaster is exceedingly good with Soul Ring. I'd like to play an aggressive deck with this start, so we'll take the Rabblemaster. Now we have a Kiki. Kiki's good, but Coercive Portal is also exceedingly good with Soul Ring. Kiki's a win condition, Coercive Portal is just value. Take the Kiki. It's not coming back to us anyway. With that in mind, we have Burgi, and we have Faithless Looting for the red cards, Verdant Catacombs, Ramanop Excavator. I think I'm okay with Burgi though. I've been very impressed with that card. Now we have Rakdos and Gruul Signet, Ulamog, Phantasmal Image, Creeping Tar Pit, Past in Flames. I'd really like to take a Phantasmal Image, but given the circumstances, I think it's better that we take a Rakdos Signet. Yeah, I think I'm on the Rakdos rather than Gruul. Yeah. I think we're more likely to play some of the black and red cards, especially considering what we've seen going around the table so far. Now we have Exhume, which would be a point in favor of the black-red. Oath of Druids, which is not really what we're looking for. Proving Ground, which is great. Blightsteel, which, I mean, we're in red, there's a way that we can make Blightsteel work. I don't think Exhume is that good. I think it's one of the worst reanimation spells. The land is fine. We're not necessarily playing a non-red color. We'll take the Blightsteel Colossus because it gives us the highest chance of comboing off with stuff. Now we have Duretti, Expansion Explosion, Emrakul. We'll take not an Emrakul, a Duretti here. Now we have Show and Tell. And at this point we have a Show and Tell Kiki Jiki, Show and Tell Blightsteel. I think we do just take the Show and Tell here. Because now we have outs for both Twin Combo, as well as a couple of other things. So the thing about Sphinx is that it's good against a couple of decks, but it's not really that good against most decks. And I don't think we're going to be playing the black, which is unfortunate because Takenuma and Bone Shards are fine. We'll just take the Sphinx for the sideboard, although I could see Memory Deluge possibly making the cut. Now we have Hero's Downfall, Carrie and Feeder. Should we just be taking black cards? It's not like that's an especially good black card. You know what, we'll take it. Sometimes you need to just start reading signals instead of being greedy. Now we have a Sundering Titan and a Vamp Tutor. Now we'll go with the Obnixilis, Ulamog. We certainly have a lot of options here. We just have to narrow down what we're doing. I like the way things are headed. We have a lot of potential, although we're still kind of narrowing down a little bit. We have a Signet, a Sneak Attack, and we're going to be taking the Sneak Attack here. We already have Blightsteel, Ulamog, Sundering Titan, so pretty happy with that. Sneak is one of the few ways that you can circumvent the triple red behind Kiki Jiki. Now we just have to find out, oh, well, we're going to get past the Time Walk. So, I mean, we're going to take the Time Walk. We're going to look for ways to cast it. We also get past a Counterspell. I mean, what are the other options in this pack? Nothing. This pack just has nothing in it. For us, anyway. Like, Elish Norn's fine. Maelstrom Pulse is fine, but we're not in green. Fractured Identity, we're not casting. Counterspell is the order of the day. Ashen Rider. Sneak Attack is Sacrifice. So Ashen Rider does actually get there. There's also a Mana Leak. Ashen Rider might come back, Mana Leak will not. Counter Magic is more rare than the other things. Now we have a Deceiver Exarch. Pretty easy so far. All of our picks have been super duper simple. Nothing even remotely difficult. We can also potentially play the Karakas and bounce something like a Kiki Jiki or an Ulamog back to our hand if it looks like it's not going to be living, or in response to a removal spell. Yeah, that does seem like it's pretty strong. We just have to get enough mana fixing to make that possible. Because Karakas is not free, it only produces white. It doesn't have a lot of downsides, but it doesn't produce blue, and it doesn't produce red. And those are definitely downsides. This looks like a pretty easy Brazen Borrower. I've been pretty happy with that card, generally speaking. I'm going to put it at the 2 slot because generally it sees play in Petty Theft first. I mean, like, turn 2 on the play, bouncing a Signet is a great play. You're basically time walking your opponent. In fact, turn 2 on the play, Petty Theft most things is usually good enough to just feel like you've gotten an entire turn out of half of a card. And then the other half is just really good. I always forget that can block creatures with flying part, but generally it beats down instead of blocking. Now we have Tinker, and we can Tinker Blightsteel. We could also Tinker Sundering Titan. Yeah, I mean, that is definitely what we're going to take. I mean, at this point we have a lot of combo potential. We just need to... We're a little far away from a Tolarian Academy deck. But I don't really think we're a Treasure Cruise deck. Not yet, anyway. think we're just going to take a Metamorphose, probably. It's either that or Boros Signet. Take the Boros Signet. Maybe maybe we get paid off somehow. We're not really playing any of these cards. Well, I guess there's a chance that Echo Vions actually makes the play. I think Young Pyromancer's more likely to make it than the Echo. It's been a pretty interesting 2-pack so far. A lot of stuff just getting passed to us. We haven't seen the Pestermite, and we haven't seen... Well, there's a Mishra's Workshop and we have 2 Signets. We're not playing the other cards. Now we have, well, nothing. Just a bunch of nothing. Guess the card we want to face off against the least is Aura Shards. No one's playing that though. Put that in the sideboard. Ashen Rider comes back. It's another point for Sneak Attack. And for Tinker. Suspicious Stowaway is actually really good. We're not playing either of these. Put that in the sideboard to take it out of circulation. That's pack 2, and I'm pretty happy about it. Now we have no power, it looks like. But what do we have? We have a Wheel of Fortune, Chain Lightning, Venser. Is it just Venser or is it Gataxian Probe? Or Chain Lightning? I think we'll take the Chain Lightning to have better play against aggressive decks. Emrakul. Well, we do have Sneak Attack. Very little that's better than Sneak Attack Emrakul. We also have the Show and Tell for the Emrakul. Only other thing in the pack is Bloodstained Mire or Fact or Fiction. We're gonna take the Emrakul. At this point, Sundering Titan comes out. Does Ashen Rider stay in? I think it does. Between Show and Tell and Sneak Attack, we have 2 different ways to put it out. The ready loots. Plateau, Goblin Welder. Fiery Islet. Yeah, we're just gonna take the Fiery Islet. Unfortunate, but I mean, we need to take the mana fixing if we want to cast the spells on our deck. That's just how it is. Through the Breach and Spire Bluff Canal. We have to take the Spire Bluff Canal. Gilded Drake or Mystic Confluence. This is actually a very tough call. Because I really love Gilded Drake. But I also really like Mystic Confluence. I think we have enough impactful stuff at 2. We're going to take the Confluence as another piece of counter magic. Now we have a nice package of Mana Leak, Counterspell, and Mystic Confluence. As well as Soul Ring to just make those things much better. Now we have Inferno Titan, Toski, not Toski, Time Spiral, Jesus. You know, untapping up to 6 lands seems like it's actually not bad. But I'm wondering if Inferno Titan's just better. We could just cast Inferno Titan. We're not playing Fire Blast. I don't think Time Spiral's good, we're just gonna take that. Now we have Tezzeret. Tezzeret's not good. Ugin actually solves a minor problem with Show and Tell. Because Show and Tell is one of those cards where you put something into play, your opponent might just have a way to own you. Ugin kind of owns everything that can be put into play with Show and Tell almost. We're not playing any of these other cards anyway, we'll put it in the sideboard for now. Zagoth Triome is an island, but it does not do anything else for us. We'll just take the Thirst for Discovery. Get this Obnixilis out of here. Goblin Electromancer. Works for Show and Tell, Thirst, Tinker, Memory Deluge, Mystic Confluence, Mana Leak, Time Walk, Petty Theft. Hmm. Play the Electromancer. It'll attract some heat from the opponent. Worn Power Stone comes back. I think I do take that. Now we have a Light Up the Stage and a Goblin Welder. At this point, Goblin Welder actually does stuff, but we don't have enough stuff to pitch, do we? Not really. We'll just take the Light Up the Stage, because we have a lot of ways to get in. Now the Through the Breach came back, and we are going to take it. We're not playing any of these cards. I guess the one that's most likely to see plays Kogla. Huntmaster's not making play. We'll put this in the sideboard, and Kolagon's Command's not making it either. So we have a lot of stuff. I don't think we can play the Caracas. I don't think we can play the Mishra's Workshop. Yeah, it's looking a little dodgy. We have some artifacts. I think that's enough for the Tinker. Question is, do we want Blightsteel and Sundering Titan? Probably, so we at least have two things to hit. Do we play the Inferno Titan? I would argue no. I think we have enough top end, 5 potential payoffs. I think that's enough payoffs. We're not cutting Chain Lightning, we're not cutting Mana Leak, Stowaway, Time Walk, Counterspell. Goblin Electromancer is our worst too. All it does is attack and block. Doesn't really do a lot for the rest of our cards. I guess it makes Light Up the Stage slightly more palatable, so we'll consider it. Goblin Rabblemaster is way off plan. Thirst for Discovery, Tinker, Brazen Bar, or Bergie. Bergie's actually good. Light Up the Stage is a little bit bad. It does draw us cards. And there's also a chance that we exile one of these with Light Up the Stage. That doesn't make it much worse. Also makes Bergie worse for the same reason. Memory Deluge, already Sneak Attack. I think Memory Deluge is good enough because it puts the cards directly in our hand. I think Duretti's good enough because it loots. Sneak Attack is obviously a win condition. Through the Breach also. Mystic Confluence and Kiki are win conditions in their own way. Mystic Confluence because it'll counter spell and do other good things. Kiki because it combos with Deceiver Exarch. Now, the Mishra's Workshop is not going to make it. It just doesn't do enough. The Caracas. We have Kiki, Emrakul, Sundering Ulamog. 3 potential things plus whatever our opponent has. I think we can afford to keep that in the sideboard and bring it in if we need to. But I don't want to start it in the deck. Now what? Big questions, big questions. I think Suspicious Stowaway is just good enough on its own merits. The looting is really, really good. I think if we're going to cut something, it will be Goblin Electromancer. Brings us to 25. We can't play 15 lands here. Although we do have Worn Power Stone, 2 Signets, and a Soul Ring, I think we at least have to make it to 16 lands. So we cut one more card. Worst card in our deck's probably Worn Power Stone, but I think we need it for Tinker. I think Show and Tell is just good enough too. Should we just cut the Worn Power Stone? Probably. I think having the Tinker be slightly worse is probably alright. Yeah, I think that's okay. Brings us to 24, add some lands. We're going to be playing 0 swamps, 0 plains. Nine. It's not great, but it's not the worst. Gonna run it just like this. Though we actually do have a need for more blue than we do for red. So take out 1 mountain, add 1 island. Yeah. Or run it just like this. Let's see what happens. See y'all in the first game. Alright, we have won the die roll and we will go first. And our hand looks pretty amazing. We have a turn to Through the Breach Ashen Rider. That leaves us with basically nothing in our hand, but I don't even know if we care. This is exile? Nope, just sacrifice. I would like to draw an Emrakul, that'd be nice. Excuse me. Now I'll pass. Yeah, this card isn't really fair balanced at all. Nothing I can do about that though. We're gonna get Thought Seized? Or Griefed? Vampiric Tutor. I'm willing to bet that that's for some interaction. Well, we are going to Time Walk. I don't think we're going to do anything else this turn, but I'd like to just have a redraw, play an extra land. Alright, well this is an instant, so we're going to see if we can just put it in on their turn if they try to Thoughtseize us or something. Play a mountain out. Well, play out the island. Not drawing anything else was kind of bad. Okay. Is it end step? Okay. They get a Grizzlebrand? Okay, well, we are going to get rid of that, I guess. We draw another land. Not really what I'm looking for. They also need to be able to do something with this. We'll have exiled 2 of their permanents. I mean, we're gonna see if that's enough. They have a bad lands. Well, they didn't have... Alright, well, sometimes you play 16 lands and you draw 8 mana sources. Pretty funny if all they had was Exhume. Oh, well, I feel much better about myself now. Not gonna play out the land, I don't think we really get that punished. I think our draw steps are better. Pack Rat? Sure. Pack Rat does not do anything. Just crack this now. Why not? Let's see. Well. Not really what I was looking for, but you know what? It'll be okay. I draw another land. Assault Monolith? Okay. How much mana do I have? It's becoming likely that if I draw a big thing, I just get to cast it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can just cast a Sundering Titan. "25 cards in deck, 4 payoffs left. A couple of good draw spells and some other things. Huh. Was not expecting Dark Depths. Well, I do have to do something about that. Looks like it's a battle of combo decks, huh? Yeah, not really doing it. Are they on the pay 3 to remove a Dark Depths ice counter? What are we discarding? What's happening? Makeshift Mannequin. As long as it target of a spell or ability. Yeah, Makeshift Mannequin is like... I thought this made mana. I could have countered that, now I lose the game. It's pretty stupid of me. Still things we can draw, of course, but I've put myself under the gun for literally no reason. Yeah, go me. There's a heuristic for that. Generally speaking, if you're in a position where the play seems obvious, just reevaluate your position. Inquisition of Kozilek. So if we don't do that, they just take it anyway. Nice. The post-mana leak land, a classic. Mox Jet, okay. Liliana, okay, sure. Tinker. Well, and you may be wondering what my plan is. Well, I'll tell you. Think. Do they have anything to do about it? They do not, and we win the game despite all that. I have to imagine for our opponent that feels pretty bad. They probably tried pretty hard to play around things and carefully get their card at the right time, waiting till my end step and all that. But it didn't matter because I drew the thing. So, what do we want against what they're doing? They have a Grizzlebrand. I mean, Show and Tell seems much worse against that, but we have Emrakul, so I think it's probably still okay. What was really bad? Not much. I think we just run it back like this. See if we can mise another victory using what we have right now. Well, we're back in the game. 7-card hand that I'm not keeping because it doesn't do anything. This hand is, well, not a lot better, but it is better, and I think I am going to keep it. Through the Breach, BLIGHTSTEEL might just be enough, and we have some stuff to help us get there. For something to put on the bottom, I think we put the Brazen Borrower on the bottom. Yeah. If we're going to keep a card we need double blue for, I think Counterspell's better. We could easily have Inquisition here, but it doesn't take through the Breach. They are also thinking, I guess. What, do they go to 6 or something? Nope. Okay. Well, they've taken about as much time to think as we have. Actually longer because they're lower on clock than we are by 1 minute. And we have to talk to a camera the whole time, so I think we're doing just fine. Guess I'll pause and then start it back up whenever they do something. We have managed to tap a swamp. Okay, the main phase Vampiric Tutor. I guess they're looking for hand interaction, maybe? Or maybe they think that they can just squeeze past counter magic or something. We're gonna play out the Islet because if I draw a blue source, we have turn 2 counterspell up. Getting hit by like a wasteland would really suck, but I'm not gonna play around that. Mana Vault, okay. Mana Vault's one of the worst ones. Entomb. Alright. Yeah, they've got a quick hand. Grizzlebrand, alright. I'd like to draw a blue source this turn, please. If my opponent passes the turn. That's not gonna do it. We still have outs. We're by no means dead. We still have a Through the Breach and a Blightsteel Colossus in our hand. So our opponent has to, like, actually have things that matter. They can't just fuck around because eventually we will put a Blightsteel into play with haste. Alright. Draw a step. What you got? If it's Makeshift Mannequin, they actually have to tap the Mana Vault here unless they have a Mox and a land. An untapped land specifically. And we also have outs if they Makeshift Mannequin. Exhume. Unfortunate that we didn't really have a way to punish that, but... Are they just gonna immediately draw 7 cards? Sure. Understandable, I suppose. Looking for something pressing to do? Yeah, that's fine. They're gonna take Counterspell. Although at this point Counterspell's worse than it was because they already have the Grizzlebrand in play. Okay. They go to discard, and what do they discard? Another reanimation target? A swamp. Okay, well, I think we are going to attack. We'll discard. We'll discard the mountain. Put another mountain into play. Don't let them know that we have the other island. Now we have them wondering about a potential counterspell. We just get to draw cards with this now unless they want to spew 2 spells off. Which they probably do, but you never know. If we draw specifically the Soul Ring, we can cast Through the Breach next turn. So I like those odds. It's a 1 in 30 shot, but you know, I will take those odds. We could take 2 attack steps from the Grizzlebrand without too much worry, if they don't have anything else to do. But they do know that we have the Through the Breach and the Blightsteel, so I have to imagine in some way, shape, or form their play patterns will change accordingly. First thing they're going to do is go to combat and then draw 7 more cards. Be pretty surprised if they didn't just pay. Okay, well, I guess it's a really tough choice for them. I don't really see how, but who am I? What is this? Well, if they ever cast it, we'll know. Might be Mind Twist. If they Mind Twist, we are just dead. Basalt Monolith? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I don't think Basalt Monolith off of the Mana Vault is worth. That's fine. Alright, well... here's where things get interesting. We are dead on board unless we block the Grave Titan specifically. We go to 1 if we do that. It's not good. What other options do we have here? I don't think we have any besides hope that they don't attack at all. Yeah. If they don't right-click attack all, we actually have options. Problem is, at this point, Emrakul doesn't do it, because I just go to 1. Liliana. Yeah. Okay, game 3 we go. They didn't really change up their game plan too much. They just did what they do faster than we do what we do. Grizzlebrand does make Ugin very bad, because it's an 8 mana cost card. So we necessarily have to avoid show and telling that into play. However, we have a lot of other options, and so far they haven't shown any consistent way to deal with the Eldrazi. We just have to cast our spells, have a better hand than that one, and we're on the play this time, so I'm confident that we can do it. I guess I'll pause and bring it back when we get in the match. Well, we are back, and we're going to take the play with a hand that does literally nothing, so we're going to mull it. You know, as much as I like the idea, this hand also doesn't really do anything. Pretty brutal that we have to mull twice in this last game, but I don't think this hand will get there. I think we have to try. I don't really think a 5 card's going to be better. We'll put an island on the bottom. Lay out an island past turn. Have them scared of some counter magic maybe. I just can't imagine a 5 card hand that's better. Even with the combos in our deck, like, we have a combo in our hand now. What's our hope? Burn 1 mana vault. Fair enough, I guess. Okay. It's not quite what we're looking for. Every turn that we don't play out the Deceiver Exarch, it becomes more prone to the card that they showed us in the last game and the game before it. Inquisition of Kozilek. We can play it in response, of course, but I don't want to do that before turn 4. Looks like they want to cast something big here. Croxa? Sure. We'll discard an island. They are trying to figure out how triggers work, I guess. Sure. We'll take some damage in the process. Oro Signet, huh? Means next turn we have it. We just have to get through this exact turn without them doing something. And then next turn, if they tap out, we win. Although they did have Snuff out, didn't they? No, we passed Snuff out in the draft. We did not necessarily see a Snuff out. Okay, so every other game when they vamp tutor, they go for a way to make their combo work. Hopefully this time they do the same instead of interaction, because this is the first turn where we could have found a way to cast Kiki where we didn't. Or not Kiki, Deceiver Exarch. There's the Entomb. Surprise, Grizzlebrand. Makeshift Mannequin? Exhume, okay. We have 2 cards in hand. If we can dodge one of them being instant speed removal. Okay, well they have 9 cards in hand. And a Mox Jet. Let me guess, Inquisition. Assault Monolith, okay. Well, I don't like the odds, I'll be honest. Time Walk would have been great there. But alas. Okay, so now we just have to hope against hope here. Tap down the Grizzlebrand, hope that they don't kill the Deceiver Exarch. Beginning of combat, we'll tap it down. We still have outs. If we draw a sneak attack and they tap out, and they don't have any creatures, we can Kiki Jiki. As well as show and tell, technically, if they don't have anything. Tinker gets us, well, nothing here. Don't like that. Sure. Not really afraid of the Rishadan port. Okay. I think we have to just let it slide. We have to find a way to make them tap out here. If they tap out, we do just win the game. There is a world where that happens. Grave Titan. Did we get there? I can't believe they tapped out. Wow. Well, that was certainly an interesting match. I have to imagine that in red-black they had plenty of ways to punish me for casting a Deceiver Exarch into a 7-card hand with 6 mana open, but instead they played a Grave Titan. I don't know, that was weird. It felt like they only had like 10 cards in their deck because we saw Grave Titan and Grizzlebrand and Exhume and the Basalt Monolith and the Vamp Tutor. Like we saw like the same 10 cards every time. But I won the game. It's difficult for me to complain too much. We're just going to move on to the second round and hope I can repeat that performance, although with a little bit less anxiety this time. See you there. We have won the die roll. We will take the play, and our hand looks like ass. We have a lot of things in the deck we can draw, but we don't have any of them in our hand, which is a problem. We'll mull. Oh yeah, this hand is much, much better. Put an island on the bottom. Suspicious Stowaway. Feels pretty good. Like, I just really, really like hands with Suspicious Stowaway in them. I feel like I'm much more likely to win the game once I have that card in play, because it just is so good at filtering out your draws. And God forbid they ever don't have a way to deal with it, because then it just becomes absolutely a beating, and a clock too. Like, getting pinged for 1 a turn is nothing. Getting pinged for 2 a turn unblockable and they draw a card just feels monstrous. Hopefully nothing crazy like land, Black Lotus, Questing Beast or some bullshit like that. Basic Plains. Not really afraid of the basic Plains draw. Ulamog? Well, it's a little worse against decks like this. We do have a Suspicious Stowaway to potentially draw the heat. Because I could just have swords. Porcelain Legionnaire? Okay. Memory Deluge, huh? We will attack. Discard an island. Play an island. Do we just show and tell? 5 cards in hand, what are the odds that one of them is specifically going to own us? I don't think we do it. We now have a Seafaring Werewolf. They have to cast 2 spells to get it back. And if they do, that's fine. We still have stuff to do. We're not really under that much of a threat. Skyclave Apparition. Well, that wouldn't have nailed the Ulamog. 4 cards on hand. We don't have infinite time here, but we have a good amount of time. We're going to play out the basic mountain, and we're going to Memory Deluge at the end of their turn. I think that gives us substantially more options. They're not pressuring us enough here. They have Manitai, this might be bad for me, but as of now, I'm not really that concerned. The Wandering Emperor. Sure. That is some life, I'll say that. Oh, god damn it. I can't believe I didn't fucking... Well, that was really stupid of me, huh? Yeah, well, we're going to do this. I'm gonna do this. A show and tell an Ulamog into play. Unfortunately for them, it's a little late. Alright, do they have a spell? We're gonna crack the fiery islet at the end of the turn. Pretty much no matter what happens. Gideon Blackblade, huh? Well, alright. What you got? We're going to crack this. Basic island, not really what I'm looking for. Alright, so we're gonna play out the island. We're gonna go for Memory Deluge here. Deceiver Exarch through the breach, huh? Not really that good for me. Then we're going to attack the Wandering Emperor. Go ahead and sack 4 permanents, please. All of your lands. Okay. Oh wow, and we get to Deceiver Exarch to undo it. That's pretty busted. Pretty good. Yeah. Ooh, a little late to the party, buddy. Oh well, just have it all. Oh wow, they didn't even see anything? We just cast it through the breach and they concede? That's goofy as fuck. Well, I mean, I guess we got them that time, but no guarantees it's gonna happen again. I think we do bring in the Inferno Titan. And possibly the Goblin Rabblemaster. Well, not the Goblin Rabblemaster, the Young Pyromancer. I think Sundering Titan sucks. Definitely at its worst right here. BLIGHTSTEEL I think is fine. We have not drawn Sneak Attack at all. We also Ugin. I think Ugin's good enough to bring in. What is bad? Ashen Rider's not too good. Alright, we're still at 5 payoffs. Wow, Deceiver Exarch coming in clutch right there. Absolutely putting the nails on our opponent. Bring in the young PZ, take out. Maybe Thirst for Discovery, just doesn't do anything. Just a bad draw spell that wastes some time. Or Memory Deluge? You're ready for sure. Like Planeswalkers are so much worse against aggro decks like this. Feels like casting a 4-mana do-nothing is just going to get us killed 90% of the time. Now we have the Stowaway, Mana Leak, Mystic Confluence, Kiki. Much as I like the Mana Leak, I don't feel like that's enough. Hand's just really awful. Oh my god. Yeah, I think we keep it. We're gonna put Tinker on the bottom and Kiki Jiki on the bottom. Yeah. We have a Spire Bluff Canal to punish a turn 1 aggro play if they have it. What I'd love to see is a turn 1 Student of Warfare, and then turn 2 they just pump mana into it. That would be the ideal, but somehow I doubt that's going to happen. Turn 1 nothing? I'm not really afraid of turn 1 nothing. We'll just play this and pass. There's an argument for playing the mountain instead because it costs us nothing. But no takesy backsies, no half measures. Okay. What? They're just gonna hold up Containment Priest forever? I mean, I'm not gonna stop them. I mean, they can't just do that forever, like, eventually we will just hardcast Inferno Titan. And then... Oh, sure. That's A-okay with me, buddy. That also affects them. Doesn't affect the token though, so fair points, fair points. We take our first bit of damage. Draw a card. One more land. We do get the Through the Breach. Gonna pass the turn here, see if they tap out. There might have been merit to just killing the Containment Priest then. Like if they have Restoration Angel, we get kind of God here, don't we? Recruiter of the Guard, huh? What you got? Mother of Runes. Oh, that's a sorcery. Yeah, I guess it was the correct answer to just kill that when we had the chance, wasn't it? Boink. They don't pay 2 red. Good for them. We'll play out the land because if we draw another land, there's a chance that all we do is Inferno Titan. They get us with a little bit of damage here, but we have outs. Okay, that's fine. Dahlia? It's kind of brutal. Brazen Borrowers, huh? Might be a little late to the party. Okay. One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8. If they attack with every single thing. We can't do both, so just gonna flash it in, see what happens. To me it looks like we're going to game 3, but we'll see what happens. Oh, yeah, whoops. Brazen Borrowers can only block creatures with flying. Well, that's my bad. Whoopsie doopsie. You live and you learn. This hand is good. I will keep it. We're not really beating the Mother of Runes on board the way it is. Might have been merit to keeping up Mana Leak or Counterspell in the event that they have specifically Thalia. Soul Ring. Uh-oh. Boros Signet, huh? We are going to play the Boros Signet. Smells like a Containment Priest. Cathar Commando? Sure. Okay. Only affects creatures. We can still show and tell in the Ugin. No blocks. Only need 3 mana, so it brings it down to 4. Or 3 loyalty, brings it down to 4. Show and tell. Oh. I guess I should have read the cards in my hand, shouldn't I have? Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of stupid. Yeah, that was bad. You know, you live, you learn lessons once and then hopefully never have to do it again. I guess I'll chalk that one down as a pretty gigantic misstep. Although with the Mother Runes in play, it doesn't really seem like I was ever going to beat the Containment Priest anyway. They did draw a perfect sideboard card against my deck all 3 games. So, you know, sometimes your opponent just has it. See if we can make it up in the next game. Well, sometimes there's justice. We in fact get the die roll again. And we have turn 2 Tinker on the play. Well, I think we will in fact attempt the turn 2 Tinker Blightsteel. Don't mind me. Well, our opponent is deep in the tank here. Probably pondering what sort of nonsense we have in store with the Soul Ring. They can kill it if they want to. Not terribly worried about that. I would like if they did it someday soon, though. Trying to finish this draft before 6 AM, if I can help it. Trying to cram 2, to be honest. Usually there'll be some kind of issue that makes... Oh, interesting. Yeah, it's pretty good, I guess. Turn 1 Mox hand interaction? Pretty okay. I mean, I can't really do anything about this, I just have to hope that they pass the turn someday. Okay, they are content to pass the turn after spending the better part of 2 minutes doing it. On their next end step, I can just, you know, Yoink that back to their hand. Mana Crypt. Turn 1 Mox Mana Crypt Signet. Okay, I guess. Well, we're going to play out an island because they know we have it. We're going to pass the turn. Interesting that they chose to play the Mana Crypt there and the Mox, or rather the Signet. Yeah, I mean, what you got, opponent? Assault Monolith? Jeez, just all mana all the time. Bitter Blossom. Okay. Yoink. Well, we want to cast all of these spells, so I think we will. We'll start with Tinker. Yeah, I think Sundering Titan is pretty obviously not going to do it. So this specifically insulates us against one card, or maybe a couple of cards, sacrifice effects. So there's the Sack Liliana of the Veil, which can make me sacrifice a creature. Not really afraid of an Urza Saga. Hide Hollow Sculler? Sure, buddy. You got it. As well as, it's the one that makes you the Monarch. That one also makes you sacrifice something. Just one thing, though. Play out the land. See, this happens all the time. I play like 16 land aggro decks, and I end up drawing 6+ lands. It's pretty brutal. Yeah, I mean, I have nothing to say about that. Sure. Discard a mountain. Nice, mana leak really coming in clutch here. I'm sure I'll be able to counter something very useful with this one. One of their 1 cards. Well, 2 cards in hand. If one of them doesn't win the game here or deal with the Blightsteel, they are just dead. And they're actually facing down a beatdown from the Brazen Borrowers and the Seafaring Werewolf. If a player. Okay, so they look like they're casting... Oh, no spell there. That's fine. Okay, so now we're actually in the realm where there are spells that will get countered. Oh. Alright, yeah, they just lose. Alright. So, Inferno Titan is good against Bitter Blossom tokens. Rabble Master's also okay against decks that are looking to stall out like that one. I don't think it's necessarily better than anything else, though. I think we just run it back as is. They're going to take the play, of course. I wouldn't expect anything less. So yeah, generally I tend to record twice each night if I can help it. And then I just take the best video and I upload it. Now that I have a much better microphone, I think it'll be a little more difficult to decide what I'm uploading. Or I might just be able to upload one video and only record one. Or maybe record two and upload both. Or I can just start to record more on the weekends and then intersperse those throughout the week. But generally I actually do my upload around 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. and then I have it set as a premiere for somewhere between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. for later that day. Although this week I might start experimenting with some later evening uploads, 6 p.m. and stuff like that. I know that there is a young demographic for Magic the Gathering. Okay, well if their hand is do nothing turn 1, I do feel much better about my situation. Island? Well, that's kind of the perfect draw, isn't it? Yeah. All we need is an Emrakul now. Through the Beach Emrakul. Scrubland, sure. They have a turn 2 Tide Hollow again. Orzhov Signet. It's not really gonna do it. Blue Source? Show and Tell. Ooh, I can Show and Tell my Mountain into play? Based. We're just going to play this and pass the turn. Sadly, our mana fixing is kind of ass, so we don't have the double blue on turn 2. But as soon as we do this, Mystic Confluence is gonna just start putting in the work, you know? Putting in the work. Time Walk? Divining Top, sure. You top all you want, buddy. If we draw an Emrakul, you'll be sacrificing that. Well, you'll be drawing a card off of it, I assume. BLIGHTSTEEL. Well, you know, if it's worth doing. 4, 5. Through the Breach. BLIGHTSTEEL Colossus. Well, that was certainly an interesting draft. I don't really like decks like that, to be honest. I know that they're strong and they tend to win games sometimes, but I didn't really do anything. I didn't make any decisions. I drew a BLIGHTSTEEL Colossus, and I had it Through the Breach, and my opponent couldn't do anything about it. So I just cast my spell and I attacked. I didn't even get to attack. It was just over. Yeah. I don't think I really could have won that second match. Pretty much no matter what I did. It was just a really, really bad matchup for me. But here we are. Now we can draft again, and I probably will. Thank you for tuning in. This has been Robot Rallis. I implore you to leave a comment, or subscribe, or like the video. Tell it to your friends. Tell them about me. And until next time, have a nice night.